Is LeBron James a competitor? Does he love competition? Does he want to beat the best? How is he? How do I rank him as a competitor? Well, you got to look at it and put it in perspective, right? He lives in a different generation than the people that, he most often gets compared to. He always gets compared to Michael Jordan, and he's not Jordan, okay? Now, here's what I'll say. When Jordan was coming up, basketball was different. Everybody wasn't friends, and everybody wasn't getting along. Of course, during the All-Star weekends and stuff like that, you put the competitive spirit down for a little bit, and, you compete. Michael Jordan, the person he probably hated the most was the Pistons, and Isaiah Thomas was on the team, but during the All-Star game, they got along for the most part. I know about the rookie game and stuff like that, Jordan's rookie game, but for the most part, it was different back then, right? The players weren't as friendly as they are now. It's just a completely different generation. But as far as, look at Kevin Grant Durant. He joined up with the best team in the league, so he's definitely, to me, is not a high-level competitor. But in today's NBA, the way the competition level is, to me, the most competitive basketball player in the NBA, to me, is Russell Westbrook, to me, right now. I would have said Chris Paul, CP0, but when he sat out games 6 and 7, I know what y'all going to say. He was hurt and this, that, and the third. But y'all heard Klay Thompson after the game. He said, I don't give a shit if my foot was broke. I would have limped out there and played. And CP0 to me cost his team. But anyways, LeBron James is a competitor. The shit he pulled with the with the hand brace and all this other shit, man, it's like, damn. Let me tell y'all Negro something. If y'all think that LeBron James is going to go to the Golden State Cheaters, you got another thing coming. He's not going to do that. He's already announced that earlier in the season. I think it was this season or last season that he's not going to go. And let me tell you something. If he does go to the Cheaters, I'll make a separate video about this. I'm done with his ass. But anyways, he can't go to those teams, the Cheaters or the Boston Celtics. And I'll get into that in another video. But as far as a competitor goes, I heard LeBron at the end saying that, championships are so important to me and stuff like that. And it's just like, I'm all about action, man. I'm about that action. You know what I'm saying? And to me, like, for instance, what would you rather have? Someone that tells you they love you all the time? Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then don't show it in their actions? Or a person that never tells you they love you, but then they're always doing things nice for you and they show you they love you through their actions? You'd rather have the second person, right? Well, what LeBron displayed to me for games 2 through 4, 2, 3, and 4, was a person that was all talk. And in his actions wasn't showing that he was trying to win. Game 1 he wanted to win. I'll give you that. Game 1 he came out, and even though, like I said, even when the Cheaters lose, they fucking win. And that was a deflating loss. And in Game 2, I don't even blame you for losing that game. You know what I'm saying? But when you go back home for Game 3, that's on LeBron. You know what I mean? He had a chance to win that game. There was a couple shenanigans with the referees and shit like that. But at the end of the day, you gotta take over the game, dude. And I'm not talking about on a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant level. I'm talking about it at a LeBron level. Because I'm not going to compare somebody to someone else if they're not that person. I'm not going to sit here and tell LeBron James, like everybody else, you need to be like player A or B. I'm not going to do that. All I can do is compare you to yourself and at your best. And I've seen LeBron take over games. I've seen him in Game 6 in 2012 against the Celtics. I've seen him this year take over Game 7 against the Pacers. I've seen him doing it against the Raptors. I seen him do it Game 1 in this finals. I've seen him do it against Boston Celtics a few games. He's got the most 40-point games this year in the playoffs. But he didn't do that Games 2 through 4 where his team needed him. Now, I don't know if it's because he ran out of gas or he chose not to do it or his hand was broke or whatever the fuck the reason was. But he didn't do it. So do I think LeBron James is a competitor? Yeah, he's a competitor more with his mouth sometimes than he is with his actions. Because when he was on the bench last night yelling and screaming at his teammates, I'm like, dude, okay, obviously I know you're a team first player and you're a facilitator and shit like that. But when your boys ain't doing nothing, they're not hitting the shots, you got to take the fucking game over, dude. And I'm not talking about like Jordan or Kobe. Take over it like LeBron could take over it. It's as simple as that, because he's done it all season. You know, early in his career, people used to call him the Frozen One and all this other shit. But now he's not that way. He's the best player in the league, hands down. He lost to the best team. And like I said last night, and I'll say this again, I don't care if you got outscored, but don't get beat. Don't let somebody that's more talented than you, that's more talented than your team, you're the less talented team, don't let them outwork you. Don't let them outplay you. And you did that. You did not take over the game. I will say this. Steve Kerr had a great game plan. He took a page out of Greg Popovich's book, and he basically closed down the lane for LeBron and forced him to shoot jump shots. And LeBron has gotten a better mid-range game, but now these last few games, not game 1, but game 2 through 4, he wasn't taking any mid-range shots. All he was doing was either shooting a 3 or trying to get to the basket, and that you fed right into their hands. They want LeBron James to shoot a 3-point shot, okay? LeBron James is a decent 3-point shooter. When he gets hot, he's okay at it, but he's not Steph Curry, and he ain't even Kevin Durant. So I will give Steve Kerr that, but it's not about the game plan. If you're the best player in the game, they game plan for other players too in the NBA, the best players in the league. But you got to break through that game plan and say, you know what, I'm taking this fucking game over. And he did not do that. I'm sorry. He should have said, look, especially when Durant started getting up in the because you could tell when a great player is having a special night, when he's scoring a lot of points. LeBron is a historian of the game. He knows Kevin Durant. He knows basketball. He knows when somebody's hot. And you're a small forward, and Kevin Durant's a small forward. You got to get on that nigga and shut him down. And he didn't do it game 3. He didn't. In game 4, Kevin Durant was basically just being an all-around player, playing defense and wasn't shooting a lot. And he was pretty much, because he's a fucking, he's not a leader and he's a sidekick, Kevin Horace Grant Durant. And that's Steph Curry's team, by the way. He was trying to give Steph Curry the MVP. That's why I call him Kevin Horace Grant Durant. You know what I'm saying? So with LeBron James, he should have tried to not only take over the game and say, man, there's a difference between me and you. And like I said, I'm not comparing him to Jordan, but when Jordan... And everybody was talking about the number 2 guy, Clyde Drexler, 1992. And I'm not saying LeBron should do what Jordan did. I'm just making a point. In 1992 in the finals, Clyde Drexler, some people, not a lot of people, but some people thought that Clyde Drexler was better than Jordan. They played the same position. And Clyde Drexler was the reason why when the Portland Trailblazers had the number 2 pick in 1984, they didn't pick Michael Jordan because they had Clyde Drexler. And then some people would say, well, Clyde Drexler's the, West Coast version of Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, even though he knew he was better than Clyde, he said, you know what? I'm going to show everybody out here there's a difference between me and that dude. And Jordan did that. And LeBron's not. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not telling you to do it like Jordan. All I'm saying is do it like LeBron, and he did not do that. He did not take over on defense and try to shut Kevin Durant down, deny him the ball, be all over him, and then wear him out on defense, because Kevin Durant was checking him too. And he didn't do it. He did not come with his A game. And for him to say that winning is all I care about, if you do it, like I said in the beginning of the series, I knew he wasn't going to win. But if he shot his load throughout the series and laid it all out and lost 4 games to 2, I would have not had the problem with that. Even if they got swept and he did everything he could, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But he didn't do everything he could. Y'all saw it. He didn't do it. And today, as a LeBron James fan, I'm ashamed of that dude. I am. I really am. I've been like this a few times with this guy. And when I grew up watching Michael Jordan, I never felt that way about Jordan, ever. The only time I felt sad is when he lost, and I was mad that he lost. And then when he retired, I was mad he retired and stuff like that. But I never, after a game, said, man, I wish Jordan would have did more. Never. Ever. And with this new group of dudes in the NBA, with Horace Grant Durant going to the cheaters, and this guy over here and over there. It's just like the NBA is different now, man. I got to accept it. It's hard for me because I didn't grow up this way. So you young guys know how these people are, these players are. You guess you're used to it or whatever. But at the end of the day, is LeBron James a competitor? Yes, he is. He is a competitor, but not to the level that I want and not to the level that I know he could be. Let me know what you guys think. If you agree with what I'm saying, hit the like button, tell me why, and share it with your friends. Tell everybody about it. Put it on Facebook or whatever, because if it's good, you want people to know about it, all right? But if you disagree with the video, hit the dislike button, place a comment below, and tell me why you disagree with it. Tell me how stupid I am. Roast me. Do whatever you can. Even roast me like you're doing LeBron. today with that stupid cast on his hand. I deserve it. Do it. Y'all know why I want y'all to do that, right? You know why? Because I don't give a damn. Holla at your boy. Peace.